That energy field is all around the planet. It's a magnetic field.
They say it's past like Mars, so you really can't. These guys, all they talk about is what? The moon and Mars. Never say nothing else. So they know they can't go past Mars. They haven't even been to the fucking moon. What are you talking about, man?
And how come they're not going to the moon right now?
How come they're not going there? And how come we don't have jobs to go there?
How come they're not setting up, setting up
camps and all that stuff?
Setting up a kingdom right there.
Man, he's crazy. But he thinks he could do it. And if he thinks he could do it, man, if you think you could do it, you're gonna do it. Right? If you ever remember when you were a little child, your mom and dad told you don't do that, guess what you were doing? That thing.
It says, so in principle, we could have sent the Apollo spacecraft through the belts. So right there it's telling you that they could have did it. They could have sent a spacecraft through the belts, but they didn't. And also, how deadly is the Van Allen belt? James Van Allen discovered a collection of high energy particle clouds within 40,000 kilometers of Earth.
How many?
40,000 kilometers of Earth.
That's not that far,
That's
man.
not that far from Earth.
You motherfuckers are lying. Straight up lies, Drew. Oh, we went to the moon.
It says these bouts have long been known as bad news for satellites and astronauts with potentially deadly consequences.
Potentially deadly consequences.
If too much time is spent within them. So imagine how many astronauts died trying to go past those belts.
If they even sent any motherfuckers past that shit. Oh man. So this is Mark 13 and 24. But in those days, after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened and the moon shall not give her light. So that's just another thing talking about you want to get into space. You're trying to darken the moon and you say that you've been there, you're going to get past the Van Allen belt. Man, you are straight up crazy, man. And then you fill up these worlds with wicked, crazy stuff like the flat earth. People still think that the earth is flat. They don't understand.
We got a 2 Corinthians 12 and 2.
This is 2 Corinthians 12 and 2. I knew a man in Hamashiach about 14 years ago. Whether in the body I cannot tell, or whether out of the body I cannot tell. Yahweh knoweth such a one caught up to the third heaven.
So he said he knew a man in Mashiach. So that's a man who is a follower of Mashiach. Mashiach means Christ. A follower of Christ. So there's a man who is a follower of Mashiach, and then it says such an one caught up to the third heaven. So got caught up to the third heaven, that's where the Most High dwells. That's past the atmosphere, past the outer space, going into the spiritual realm.
So there's two words, third and heaven, and I'm in the heaven. The heaven is Uranus. Sounds like Uranus. Uranus perhaps from the same as G3735 to the idea of elevation, the sky by extension the heaven. Now it's talking about as the abode of Yahweh. By implication, happiness, power, eternity, especially the gospel of the Mashiach, air, heavenly sky. Now when you get the biblical outline usage. The vaulted expanse of the sky with all things visible in it, the universe, the world, the aerial heavens or sky, the region where the clouds and tempests gather, and where thunder and lightning are produced, the sidereal or starry heavens, the region above the sidereal heavens, and set of ordered things eternal and consummately perfect, where Yahweh dwells, and other heavenly beings.
So if you're caught up into the third heaven, that means you got caught up in a chariot, you know?
Yep.
Because there's a scripture that says about getting caught up, you know, look up,
For
you know,
salvation.
for your salvation is nigh, I think, and get caught up into the heaven. First Thessalonians 4:17.
1 Thessalonians 4:17. Alright. So I found it in the phone. 1 Thessalonians.
And you got to be a man of Mashiach in order to get caught up into the third heaven.
So this is the book of 1 Thessalonians 4:17. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in the air, and so shall we ever be with Hamashiach Yahushai Hamashiach.
So you be caught up in the sky, in the air.
And then there's an old song, a rock and roll song, a country song. It says, I don't know exactly what it says, but it says there's a spirit in the sky, and it says, I got a friend, Jesus. So, hey man, these motherfuckers know.
They talk about the rapture, you know.
And then the rapture ain't a rap contest either, man. These motherfuckers call it different things, but you don't understand. Or you do understand, that's why you call it different things.
So that was the third heaven where the Most High dwells.
So it says we shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. So I'm going to look at the clouds. It says Nepheli, a cloud, used of the cloud which led the Israelites in the wilderness. This is Matthew 17:5. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased, hear ye him. That's talking about Yahushua and Mashiach, and to a further extent, it's talking about us preaching the word that Yahushua and Mashiach was out here telling. Let me read that one again. 1 Thessalonians 4. Which one was it? 17? It was 17, right? Okay, so I'm going to start at 15. 1 Thessalonians 4:15. For this we say unto you by the word of Hamashiach Yahushai, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of Yahushai shall not prevent them which are asleep. For Yahushua himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, that's Michael, and with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahushua Hamashiach in the air, and so shall we ever be with Hamashiach.
So that when that war in heaven is talking about the sky, we're going to be able to see that war in heaven. You know, because there's going to be a lot of things going on when that war is going on. It's going to be World War III,
War in heaven.
nuclear missiles going on.
Shit's gonna be forced on people. People are gonna be dying left and right. Martial law.
There's going to be a lot of UFOs, which are chariots, you know, in the sky. And you're going to be seeing tractor beams, you know.
Laser and getting beamed up.
Tractor beams and laser beams.
But it's gonna be all at the same time, man. It's gonna be scary. And last week there was about 3 dead crows in the parking lot. That's why I brought this. How good they are tonight. Yeah, we're approaching the 45 minutes. So you wanna get some more scriptures?
Yeah. On the Isaiah 14 and 13.
Isaiah 14. And 15?
14 and 13.
Isaiah 14 and 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Man.
So someone says that they're gonna exalt themselves into heaven, you know.
Which one was I reading? 14 and 17?
13.
15, 13. 14 and 13? Well, I should have started at 12. Let me start at 12. 14 and 12 in the book of Isaiah. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
So Lucifer, son of the morning, talking about the wicked, you know, the ones who are ruling the earth, you know, which is the elite. Because it says that they're gonna exalt their throne in heaven. It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And when you think about who owns the skies, you think about the military. It's the Air Force, you know.
Because they always have the sky of the language is English. I mean, the language of the sky is English.
And the Air Force, they recently upgraded their military, and now they call it the Space Force. You know?
Man, they're ready. They're ready.
And they're responsible for everything that happens in the skies. You know, you can't fly the skies without them knowing.
You can't put a weather balloon up. You can't even fly a fucking drone. You gotta be careful. You can't fly a drone over the base.
You can't shoot laser beams in the sky.
Those like pin lasers.
Yeah.
Why? Because the chariots shoot those lasers.
They might think you're a UFO.
And they'll fucking get you.
One more, Obadiah.
Oh man, favorite. Obadiah.
1 and 3.
This is the book of Obadiah.
Which one? Obadiah 1 and 3.
Obadiah 1, In 3, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
See, so we know that those military space force, that's Esau, because he's the one that dwells in the clefts of the rocks. Just think of the Caucasian the Caucasus Mountains. You know, why is it called Caucasus? Because that's where the Caucasians come from.
Yep. Cave dwelling.
So that's why he says he's gonna bring, Esau's space force down to the ground when Michael and his archangels and Yahushai, when they fight this dragon.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad. And I mean that in the slang it's gonna be fucking awesome.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be like a movie.
Yeah, and it's gonna be like a pay-per-view event. Because their TVs are gonna get hijacked, and everybody's gonna see it because Yahushua said everybody's gonna see it. So your TVs are gonna get hijacked, the radio stations are gonna get hijacked, satellites are gonna get hijacked. Everybody's gonna see it. That's good.
Yep, so with that, we hope it's edifying. All praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash, double honors.
To the apostles, peace, blessing, mercy, and salutation to all the brothers out there teaching the truth and sincerity in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Shalom.
Shalom.